What's going on today, YouTubers? Welcome to another edition of Walking Reviews. The knife we're going to be taking a look at today is pretty much strictly for comparison purposes. By the time this video is up, the other video that I shot on the knife that this is based on should be up too. So let's go ahead and get into the whole reason behind this. So a friend of mine bought a knife very similar to this. This is the Sigil Mk3, not the original. This is a collaboration between Tony Marfione and Derek Monroe. Although after kind of playing with it for a little while, I'm pretty positive that the collaboration ends at kind of like the design of the knife. I think maybe Derek was probably only involved up until they hashed out exactly how this would be different than his Sigil Mk3. Because the production of this knife versus the production of Derek Monroe's Sigil, they couldn't be more different. Yeah, let's go ahead and jump into the specs, even though they're exactly the same as the other Sigil as far as size-wise. So the blade length is 3.5 inches. Handle length is like 4 3/8. So overall length is 7 7/8. The weight on this is 2.9 ounces. Very good weight for a knife of this size. Blade steel on this one is Mk3, I believe, and it's been given a very heavy stone wash, or what Mr. Marfione calls apocalyptic finish, which is just essentially a stone wash. It's got the same, well, actually this has a pretty deep hollow grind to the blade. The blade is very functional, very sharp edge. That's where this knife shines, is in its similarities design-wise to the Sigil Mk3 from Derek Monroe. So very deep hollow grind on the blade. Awesome utility blade. Like I said, Mk3. You can see there, aside from the stone wash, it's got a very prominent top swedge. It's thicker towards the tip there, kind of reinforces the tip. A little run of jimping on the spine there. So this blade can obviously be deployed with the flipper tab here, or with the hole opening. Handles are, on this one, they are carbon fiber, solid carbon fiber, and then on the lock side it's got that sub frame lock. So it's basically, you can see in here, they nested a piece of titanium into the carbon fiber, and then on top of the titanium there you've got that steel insert, which is supposed to make the lockup better. Over travel stop on this one looks like kind of like a Damascus. The pocket clip, very much different on this one. It's like a spring-loaded pocket clip. So the issue that a lot of people have been having, and I definitely got the same issue, is that there's not much retention to it. So then it feels like the knife could just kind of come out of your pocket. I wasn't too worried about that as I was carrying it, simply because I'm not going to be like doing handstands, so I'm not worried about it flying out that way. I guess if I was jumping around and doing a whole lot of crazy shit, yeah, sure, I might be worried about it. But other than just like a general feeling of uneasiness in how loose it is in your pocket, there's nothing inherently wrong with the pocket clip. So as far as the fit and finish goes, pretty good. Centering is pretty much spot on. The carbon fiber is gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous carbon fiber, really well done. Yeah, I mean, there's not much, when you look at the knife, there's not much to fault, because as far as like the form of the knife goes, it's based on an amazing design, the Sigil Mk3 by Derek Monroe. Awesome blade shape, really ergonomic handles. Size-wise, it's really great for EDC. Where it lacks, and this is in the execution of building the knife, is like, so the action, the blade of my Mk3 by Derek Monroe falls closed. This, I mean, you really have to fling the knife to kind of get the blade to shut, and the reason for that is the detent is very strong. And I think the reason the detent is so strong is because it looks like he had some issues getting the action to be as smooth as the Monroe version. You can feel when you flip the Monroe version, like there's zero resistance. The blade just glides out, so it doesn't need a super strong detent to flip properly. Whereas this one, I think if it had a lesser detent, you would get misfires as far as deploying the blade. So yeah, it's a little tough on the finger. The jimping that was really nice on the Mk3, this is very similar to that, because you don't have to press nearly as hard on the Mk3 from Derek. It doesn't hurt your fingers, this jimping. It's more of an aid to your finger not slipping off, whereas with this, since you have to press so hard to get it to flip, it becomes a little uncomfortable. As far as the hole opener, you can flick it out all the way down here at the bottom with your middle finger. Other than that, like, you can't, I can't really get it to open with my thumb. It would kill my thumb to try and open it that way. So really, it's only useful for this type of opening right there. Another issue I'm having, the Monroe solo piece doesn't have a steel lock bar insert, but there's zero lock stick. It was just designed in such a way that there's no, it feels like there's no resistance whatsoever when you're pushing the lock bar open. This one, even with the steel lock bar insert, you can hear that crack. Very strong lock stick. Whether or not that'll break in over time, I'm not going to find that out. I do plan on returning this knife to get my money back. More than anything, I was hoping that this would be a success, because I love my Sigil Mk3 by Derek, but they're expensive. They're really hard to find on the secondary market. These go for about half. For like a basic version, they go for about half the price, if not a third of the price, for what you'll find an actual Mk3 Sigil by Derek Monroe. Like, if you were to look on the secondary market and actually find one by chance, chances are you would pay between $2,000 and $3,000, if not more, depending on how elaborate it is. You can see Tony, or Mr. Marfione, put his maker's mark here on the backspacer. What, in my opinion, was a really kind of elegant looking floating backspacer of the Monroe Solo. In this, it looks a little tacky with the dagger and the born on date and all that stuff. I'm not a huge fan of the way he did the backspacer on this one. Also, you'll notice is the insane amount of hardware on this thing, and it's all that proprietary stuff. The Mk3 proprietary tri-wing fucking screws, which completely remove your ability to work on the knife, which I think is a huge mistake. I know this has probably been talked about ad nauseum, the Mk3 screw issue. If you're spending the kind of money that you're spending on a Mk3 knife, not even necessarily this one, which was 900 bucks for this knife. Not only are you're spending a lot of money, chances are if you're spending that kind of money, you're someone who's passionate and cares about their knives. So you're the exact type of person that they should feel is, you know, capable of taking apart their knife and putting it back together without, you know, ruining it and then claiming warranty. I can see, you know, a company like, say let's take for instance Kershaw. Say they didn't want people taking apart their knives, like a $20 knife, and then sending it in for warranty work when they fuck it up. I get that, because anybody can go into Walmart and buy, you know, a Kershaw, except Kershaw does use hardware that makes it easy for you to take it apart. Whereas this, a knife that's not easy to find, you have to go looking for this from, like, you know, a knife purveyor, and they so you're the exact type of person that's obviously, like I said, passionate about the knife, and yet they completely deny you the ability to work on it whatsoever with that hardware. Now, I think they do sell an aftermarket tool for those who want to spend extra money to be able to work on their knife. I think that's a slap in the face, honestly. So if I had to sum this knife up, it looks like a Mark III, and it feels kind of like a Mark III, but it's not a Mark III. This is a poor attempt at capturing lightning. There's a reason that Derek's knives are so sought after and so hard to get your hands on, because he does flawless work. Mk3, from what I understand, this is a custom knife. It doesn't feel like it. It feels like a production knife that made it out of QC too early. I think they wanted to capitalize on the immense popularity of the original Mark III, and I get it. I mean, it's an amazing popular knife, but I wish that they had not done that, or at least paid more attention to what made the Mark III so popular in the first place. Alright guys, that's going to do it for this video. Sorry for the rant. Yeah, I would, if you're watching this and you're wondering what the hell I'm talking about, look for the other Mark III video, the Derek Monroe Sigil video, and you'll understand. Alright guys, take it easy.